Hi there, Taurus. Thank you for joining me for your monthly forecast for August. This month begins with the Sun in the part of your horoscope to do with security, physical or emotional. Your focus could be based on how you live, at home, and who with. There could be changes in this sphere too, but there's still a collection of energy in the chattiest and most communicative part of your scope too. And that's ironic because Mercury, the planet of communication, by the 4th of the month gets back to the degree 23 degrees Cancer, where it first began its retrograde at the end of June. Now, even though Mercury has not been twisting backwards for the last couple of weeks, something to do with a communicational issue, a document, a letter, some equipment, anything to do with technology, that could finally click back into place in a way which is satisfying to you, and that can be comforting. Also, Jupiter, the planet of expansion, is actually going to be playing two roles this month. In a very much more positive way, on the 6th, it forges a super link with the Sun on the back of a new moon. The suggestion here is that if there has been a little bit of an impasse in the time that you've spent with siblings or other close family members, Jupiter can bring a healing to bear. There can be more chat and it could be very encouraging. Unfortunately, Jupiter is also in opposition with the first 3 weeks of this month with Pluto, the tiniest planet, the higher octave planet on the outskirts of our solar system. And this is saying in this opposition that it's important that you're not too evangelical or stubborn or fixed in your thinking about your ideas. Now, you might encounter someone who actually is themselves, and they may try to pressurize or browbeat you into doing something that is against your will. You really need to stay absolutely within the rule of law this month, because anything which is a little bit nefarious could see you caught out. Stand your ground if need be. Now, Venus, your ruler, is actually going to be moving, and it moves on the 9th. It moves into a more practical area, but it also moves into Libra, so it's saying if there is somebody that you're finding a little bit difficult to get along with at work, well, diplomacy will have its role and it can work well for you. Remember, Venus isn't just about relationships, it's about money too. If you can meld your creative talents, which are often awesome, with that practical spirit that's part and parcel of being a Taurus. Now, there is also going to be the move of Mercury. So Mercury finally vacates Cancer after a long extended stay, and it moves into Leo. Now, it's going to be in this part of your horoscope for the next 3 weeks. This gives you an opportunity to think about your past life in terms of your family, about your emotional basis. It is going to be squaring up with Saturn shortly, briefly, and there could be times when you become much more conscious of the way your dialogue goes between you and those that you're very close to. But it's important to try to gain from Mercury in the sense that perhaps it could see you starting a home-based business, reorganising your home to make it a little bit more practically up to speed in terms of the family existence, or if you live on your own. Now, it's also possible with all the activity that's going on at the moment that you are actually still going to be quite active. And part of the reason for this is that Mars is staying on very good terms with Venus for much of this first 2 weeks of the month. And in fact, that can be actually very good for your love life too. However, things really start to change on the back of the full moon, which occurs on the 21st. If something is out of focus in terms of work-life balance, this is an opportunity to try to get things in a better kilter. But as soon as the 23rd, the Sun moves into the most glorious part of your scope, and then it's followed soon after by Mercury. So what we have here is not quite an exact conjunction, but they're very closely allied together. And this can give you an inventive streak and you can be very imaginative. The problem is they're both going to be trapped on the other side of the heavens by the rather dreamy influence of Neptune. So when it comes to your love life or your future hopes around a creative project, you do need to be very realistic in the last phase of this month, because someone could tell you something that's not true. In fact, it could be an absolute whopper, or you could actually almost confuse yourself about what you want. Now, Mars is going to be bursting into a very much more earthy area for you in terms of your home, when it moves on the 28th. This is an opportunity to make physical changes to where you live, but it also can make you more impatient around emotional interaction. So if someone is playing a little bit of a game, I think Mars will help you to sharpen up your elbows as this month draws to a close. It's been a real pleasure being with you. Thank you for joining me. It's been good luck and goodbye for now.